Fallout 4. To some, one of the best games Bethesda's put out, but to me, it's so much more. To me, it's probably the best game I've ever played, and my favorite by far. Few games ever come to the point of, status of being legendary among gamers, but Fallout 4 has really earned that title with an exciting landscape that I can appreciate, being from where the game takes place in Boston, Massachusetts, but also through the beautiful details they put in, through the, tiny things they do there. It's breathtaking how much detail and attention they put into such a game that even to this day, I will find new stuff out. Every day I play, I find something new that I never knew before. And I seriously doubt anyone will ever know everything about this game, ever find every secret. So what makes Fallout so great? Well, for one, it's got a giant map that, it's located in my home state, Massachusetts. It's Boston. Now, some people know Boston for the Patriots, but many know for the Boston Red Sox, which play in Fenway Park, which is actually a key location in Fallout 4. Diamond City, which obviously it's not a baseball park anymore, but there's many things like this, many important locations that have been repurposed or just given its time to shine for the people, such as Diamond City, as we've said, or Spectacle Island, or Lexington and Concord, the two beginnings of the Revolutionary War, which that's what the main idea of this game is the Minutemen, which represent the Minutemen, the Institute, which represents slavery, and the Railroad, which is the people who wanted to free slaves. So there's really history behind this game, which not many other games do, but they didn't force it down your throat. They gave you a fun way to look at it. They gave you an adventure. And that's something games sorely need. They don't need a fabricated adventure. They need to give us a good adventure, even if we've already known it. Even if we've already heard it 100 times. If they can give us a good adventure that we've heard before, then we will appreciate it. And there's many, many things in this game that I appreciate, even though they might not be the biggest things. Some of these things, the little dialogues the characters will have. Like these three. They all own stands, as they might call it, at Diamond City. One of them sells baseball equipment, swatters, bats. One of them sells meat, and one of them just sells drugs. But they all sat down to eat, and that's just a small detail you might notice. Another thing, this robot here, Takahashi, he serves noodles, but if you've seen Blade Runner, you'd know that what he just said there, that's what they say at the beginning when they're, trying to buy some noodles. But just the funny little jokes like this, the sitting down to get some noodles, tell me a joke, that type of thing, it's fun. And Fallon's, Fallon's is a real department store in Boston, which I've never been to, but to see it shown off like that is just awesome. And then you have the attention to detail in character models, like this Mr. Handy right here. It's just astounding how much detail is put into the characters.
The robot handles the store at night. Bother him.
And I love it. I love how much attention they put into this game, even if it is flawed at some points, even if the storyline doesn't always make sense. It's still a beautiful story and a beautiful game. Even the look of guns, like this. The Big Boy, a nuclear launcher. Never in 1,000 years would you think you'd see that, but they made it. And just looking around, seeing how really small you are, looking at all the different things, the doctor, drug dealer, all the houses, and the different vendors. It's really breathtaking to just sit back and realize all the working parts of this game. All the characters that you'll meet that might not even have a big impact, but you'll remember them. You'll remember the small things they did. And right now, as we come higher and everything gets smaller, you yourself start to feel smaller because of just the astounding job they did making this game feel like you were really there, making it feel like, as I would call it, you're a lonely god ruling over all the people in this game. Nobody can stop you. The highest buildings, you can climb them. The strongest enemies, you can take them down. The most corrupt politicians, you can persuade them. You can do anything in this game that you want. If you want to build the biggest base, play as a guy that runs around naked and punches people to death, you can do it. You can do everything and anything you want to do. And sometimes the developers just did just that, but accept their own characters. Like Good Neighbor. Good Neighbor is a great example of this. It's all society's misfits that nobody wants. All the castaways. They all come together to create their own little community. And they do a damn good job at it. And the NPCs especially. Some of them are just hilarious. Like this one here, Cleo. You know what she does? She used to be a robot for the army that killed people. And now she tells you that she's a woman, a real woman. And that she'll sell you any gun that can kill a man. Except depression. That, unfortunately, you can't sell. But in here we have quite a figure. One, a funny character. John Hancock. Well, not the John Hancock, but Hancock nonetheless. He wears the same outfit that John Hancock once wore, and he does the same job. He governs over the people, which, yeah, John Hancock never did, but he had his share in politics, and that's what this guy does. He establishes a community of misfits. He's the leader of the losers, if you will. And he cares about them. It's just depth that you wouldn't get in any other game, which I appreciate. What other game do you find a leader of the losers, or some maniacal man trying to be John Hancock, or any other old revolutionary figure? You just don't find it. And just that face, you'll never forget it. The no-nose, the scarring, the bags under his eyes. It's a face to remember. Maybe not for good, but you'll remember it nonetheless. And it's one of those things that you'll always stick with you. Over the 3 or so years it's been since I first started playing this game, when I first stumbled out of the vault, it's one of those things you never forget. And I remember that the first time I played, I was astounded by all that was around me. I was unbeknownst to a Fallout game. I'd never played one before, but I heard it was amazing. So I picked it up, and ever since then, I haven't gone maybe 1 or 2 months without playing a whole playthrough of the game again. This right here is my current one, where I'm a stealth character, and I don't even have armor on. I'm just everybody else, just walking around in my daily clothes. But that's the thing that's great. You don't have to be anybody. You can be whoever you want to be. Anyone and anyone. And that's exactly why I think that this game deserves so much more credit than it's given. Because it's given a lot of credit, but it deserves more. I think it is probably the best game I've ever played, which, hey, I haven't played as many games as some people, but it's still an astounding game that I can never forget. One of my favorite things about Good Neighbor, and really the game in general, is this place here coming up. The third rail, which normally you don't want to touch it, but this is my favorite place to go. Where, if you haven't been, I would advise going there yourself the first time because it is a beauty, a sight to behold. Inside, after going down these stairs, candlelit stairs, you'll find a singer singing music, an old chap running the bar, and you'll find just people sitting, enjoying their time. Like you will. You'll enjoy your time playing this game. Old Charlie here, Chaplain Charlie, I think his name is. He spends his time as a bartender, but just the idea of it, a domesticated robot that's got a British accent, that's just wearing a top hat even, you know, it's... Who in their right mind would think of this before playing a game like this, you know? It's one of those things you won't find anywhere else, and I don't know, it fascinates me how many brand new things I've discovered and thought of and realized while playing this game. There's so many things, and I just love it to bits. I would rather play this game until the end of days than any other game. But as perfect as this game is for me, it's not completely perfect. There's still things that I've seen that could be better, but there's workarounds to it. One was Fallout New Vegas. I love that game to bits as well. I've played that one some. I haven't got too far in it, but it's astounding. I love it. What I like in that game, that this game is good at, but it's not better at, is characters, the AI. In this, they're characters. In that, they're people. You actually feel connected to them. In this, they just feel like everybody else, almost like they're one in a million. You're not gonna meet anyone else like them, but they're almost all the same. There's not variety. There's nothing astounding about them. There's nothing special about each and every one of them. But Fallout New Vegas, it just gave you a special touch. There was so many different people. The Great Khan, Caesar's Legion, NCR. There was so many different people. And it was just such a fun time to meet all of them and to see how they think about things. Whereas in this, they all kind of have the same feeling. They all hate synths, or they all like synths. They all hate ghouls, or they all like ghouls. There's no variation. In Fallout New Vegas, there was the boomers, which, no, they don't drive trucks, but they are pretty old, but no, what they do is they'll lob grenades at you, artillery at you, anything explosive at you if you try to come near them. And that's amazing. Then there's the different religions. There's people who create religions, which I think is a great thing for this game. You know, people survive an entire nuclear apocalypse and barely make it through. There would be a lot more religion, in my opinion. I wish it was more represented in this game. There is a chapel in Diamond City called the Lonely Chapel, which I appreciate them adding, but it's just not the same in my book. But that's what I think they could improve on. And what else is, which they already have solutions to, is more content. You play this game so much, but sometimes you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, the same type of run-through. But a very good solution to that, which they've addressed perfectly, is mods. You can download mods in this, which lets you add on anything that anyone has ever made. And hell, you can even make your own if you're that good with it. So if you want a mod that lets you walk around and just throw people, I don't know why, but if that's what you want to do, then go for it. You can find it or make it yourself. It's out there somewhere for you. It's just perfect. Everything about this game I love. There's not much I dislike. And what I do dislike, I've come to terms with. I don't hate anymore. The dialogue between people is astounding. I've gone through so many layers of dialogue. At this point, I almost skip most of it, but it's still so fun to go through it and just see what people have to say and think and different ideas. But the landscaping, I've been over this a few times, but the landscape, look at it. It's ugly, but it's beautiful. It's a certain sense of loneliness. You're the only one. You don't see people walking around. It's a busy city. You would think there'd be hundreds of thousands of people walking around, but you're the only one daring to walk around. Everybody else hides in their communities, or they're just mad, insane, whatever you want to call them. It's a loneliness. You're completely alone. No matter how many people you talk to, no matter how many people are around, you just feel alone. And that's, as I call it, the lonely god. You can kill anyone. These super mutants here, they should be able to kill you easily. Kill me easily. I have no armor on. All I have is a pistol. But it's just that this game can make you become a god, but in killing all these people and doing all these things, you just become lonely. Luckily, you can have companions that I very much like the way the companions work. You can talk with them, you can trade with them, but they just give it's almost like a second storyline. Their own side quests, but they mean so much more because it gives you a way to look at them. You look at them differently start to finish. Nick Valentine or Piper, Curie, Strong. If you want someone funny, pick Strong. If you want someone serious, pick Curie. If you want someone that you're going to appreciate, then you can find them. There's so many options for you. And I don't know, there's the combat. I mean, look at how easy it is. One shot for both of them. I was able to kill them instantly. Nothing can stop me. No matter how many bullets I soak up, I'll just eat a little food, pop a few stim packs, and I'm back at where I was. There's nothing they can do to stop me. And that's why I think Fallout 4 is by far the best game I've ever played. Possibly one of the best games ever made. What I'll leave you with is an idea that this game isn't perfect. No game is. Nothing in life is perfect. No matter how much detail, no matter how much you want to try, nothing can ever be perfect. Something will always bother you. Will always be different. But that's what makes this game so good, is that it doesn't try and be perfect. It will show you grotesque, bodies. It will show you disgusting things. It'll show you creepy things. It gives you every emotion imaginable. It will do everything it can to make you feel so many different things, because that's what this game is good at. It's good at making you feel something. You might not feel every emotion. You might not feel scared of walking around in the dark, hearing ghouls walking around in the distance. Just the idea of getting jumped. Even if you are invincible, just being alone, walking through the dark. It might not scare everybody, but I guarantee you, I promise you, that you will find some level of emotions in this. And if it weren't for the emotions, this game wouldn't make it. But hey guys, I've talked on long enough. I hope you guys take these words and check out the game for yourself if you haven't already. So other than that, guys, I'll see you later. And remember, that's life.